Well, hello.
Hi there.
We are SketchMeMyLegs.
We couldn't be bothered actually filming anything today, so we're doing this instead.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. We're going to talk about things for you.
And we're not doing it naked. Just in case that crossed your mind. Even though it is a podcast, and I believe that's the tradition. At least that's what they told me, the last group I did podcasts with. It's not a podcast unless you... Anyway, moving swiftly on.
I promise you we're not.
We have had lots of whiskey, though, so Matthew's
I've not had lots of whiskey.
You drank a glass of whiskey in one mouthful.
I downed it.
Because you're a savage and a barbarian and a
That's how
fiend.
you drink. I did the same thing with rum and coke once. I don't drink often, but
God.
when I do, I get headaches.
Well, let's begin the argument, shall we?
Okay, what are we going to argue
What kind of psychopath puts cola in a drink that's also got whiskey in it?
No, but Jack Daniels isn't a proper whiskey.
It is.
It is.
Well, it is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
It is. It's even in that song by, what's the name? Washing my teeth with a bottle of...
Alabama 3?
No,
no, Kesha.
Is it Kesha?
Wake up in the morning.
Yes, washing my teeth with a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
So it's a proper whiskey. I mean, it's made it into the pop culture.
No, that's how you gauge a proper whiskey. It's
is.
not like it's kept... Do you know how they make Jack... Excuse me, do you know how they make Jack Daniels?
I'll be honest and say no.
Okay, what they do is they take the stuff and then they put it in a very smoky barrel.
Yes.
And then it tastes smoky when you drink it. Jack Daniels isn't really that nice without anything to drink it with.
I agree, but I
Have
don't
you ever had Southern
particularly-
Comfort?
Yes, it tastes
Southern Comfort
rather
is the
strange.
worst thing.
Yeah,
It's horrendous.
We can agree on that. But what kind of... You told me recently that drinks... It's acceptable to add Coca-Cola to a drink if you don't like the taste of it.
Yeah.
And I said to you that was like capping off a great pyramid with an asbestos roof. And it is, because it's been distilling for as long as you've been alive, and then you suddenly come along and go, I'll add cola because I'm...
stupid sentimentality.
It isn't sentimentality. It's
been brewing as long as you were alive, you should respect it. No, you don't respect Adolf Hitler. He's old.
What?
You don't respect Adolf Hitler. He's old.
But the point is, it's a very finely honed and crafted taste. It is. And you can't just add another liquid to it and go, Yahoo! I'm having a Jägermeister or something.
I've never said Yahoo!
A Jaeger bomb or whatever they're called. That's an
You can't
appalling
drink
savagery.
straight Jaeger.
That is an
Although I
appalling
don't
obscenity.
drink straight Jaeger or Jaeger bombs.
I actually quite like straight. I've only had it once, but I rather like it.
Have you ever had vodka?
Vodka?
I haven't.
There's
I don't
some
want to
over
have
here.
vodka.
Shall we?
I really don't want vodka.
I will go and get it, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh god!
Right.
Just by the way, just for context's sake, it's currently 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yes, so it's
We've
all right.
already had whiskey.
Yes. So here we are. This is Smirnoff.
Oh my god, that stinks!
It does smell quite bad.
I think we might have mixed it with the whiskey that
A
was left
little
in my
bit, but you
glasses.
can taste the difference, I'm sure. Smirnoff triple distilled vodka, 37.5% alcohol.
I have to walk home.
3, 2, 1.
No, I don't like it. Although it does make my mouth feel fresh.
What you just did was touch a bit of it against your tongue.
Some of it
and then
went on
came to
me, yeah.
I don't particularly like it, actually. It's very warming, but it's not particularly nice. It's like drinking antiseptic.
Right, okay.
Well, it's what I imagine drinking antiseptic would be like.
But can't you, cleanse wounds with that?
I think you can. You can also set
that
it on
happened
fire.
in that World War Z movie. Did you ever watch that?
I didn't ever watch that.
Have you ever noticed?
Yeah.
This is something that has been brought to my attention recently.
Yeah.
I was in Glasgow. We have a shopping centre, what is called the Buchanan Galleries.
Yeah.
And also near where I live, in a place called Cumbernauld, near where we live, there is a place called the Town Centre.
It's not officially called the Town Centre, is it?
I don't know what it's called, but we call it that.
It once appeared in a documentary. I say a documentary. It was on STV. A program called "The Worst Place in Britain" or something like that.
Yeah, it won. I know it was the ugliest place in Britain.
It was the ugliest place in Britain.
So
and, rightly so.
Yeah, if you want to see a place, what is where we live, near where we live, look up the worst place in Britain.
Or just type in Chernobyl on Google Images. It's roughly the same thing.
You ever play Fallout 3?
Yeah.
Because it's uncanny.
Ever read The Road by Cormac McCarthy?
No, but what happened in both of these places is I saw some construction. So in the Thorntons, in the Buchanan Galleries, what is a town centre? No, what is a shopping centre near where we live? There was the Thorntons chocolate shop that was getting refurbished.
Yeah.
And in the town centre near where we live, there was a place called The Bank, which was also getting refurbished. For those who are more specific among you, that was the Royal Bank of Scotland. Though that's not entirely relevant.
It's not really a bank either, is it? It's just a...
That's where my money is.
Okay.
Please don't hack my account,
Why
YouTube. No, right. So, both of them are being refurbished.
Can I ask you a question before you drone on any further? Thorntons, right?
Thorntons.
You know they have those chocolate fountains?
Yeah.
Now, a chocolate fountain is a fine idea, a noble enterprise, but in a shopping centre...
That was my phone.
Right. In a shopping centre, mustn't that collect all the coughs and sneezes and diseases and just take it round? And by the end of the day, mustn't it just be a pullulating sea of vomit and disease? And
it's like the air conditioning on an aeroplane.
Yeah.
It just recycles
except
air.
you're expected to eat it. I don't understand why
never
people
thought
would do
of
that.
But the thing is about chocolate fountains as well, is that they're shit.
Well,
they don't taste like chocolate.
Don't they?
No, they taste powdery and rotten.
That's disappointing.
Do you know, there's something like boiling hot chocolate, the actual hot chocolate, or cuckoo for our international cousins. That's nice.
Is it?
Because it's scalding hot.
Right.
Lukewarm chocolate of the kind you might find in a chocolate fountain is not nice. It tastes like you've sat on it or something like that. Or a fat person has sat on it for a long time.
That's why, because a fat person has farted nearby.
No! I don't even want to. I don't even want to think about chocolate fountains anymore.
That's what I was. I'm a very philosophical person. That was what I was thinking of the last time I was in a shopping centre.
But these places were being refurbished, and I noticed a common trend amongst all the places that were being refurbished. Outside of them were old men.
Right.
Who were just watching refurbishment.
The Royal Bank of...
and Thorntons.
Oh, and Thorntons, go on.
Old men
right.
like construction, and I don't understand why, but outside both of them, you have the shutter, and it happened in the same place, in the same Buchanan Galleries. There was a Top Man as well, which is a clothes shop.
I've never been... No, I have been involved in that.
That's been refurbished.
Yeah.
Old men just stand outside and like to watch young men work.
Well, they're not going to be in Top Man, are they?
I agree with you that there is scarcely a more pretentious thing than going into one of those places.
It is the same with River Island. You walk through the beads at the front door, and then a lunatic with sandals minces up to you.
Are you okay there today?
Please
yes.
Shut up. I'm not here through choice.
Hollister.
Yeah.
Have you been inside one?
I don't think so.
Hollister, I think, is owned by the same people who own Abercrombie and Fitch. I might be wrong there. I think that might be the American equivalent, because I think... I could be talking out my arse here, but I think Hollister is meant to be an American shop in Britain, so I don't know if it actually exists in America, but it is the worst place on it. Like, there are concentration camps. I would rather spend 5 minutes in Hollister, because you get to the front door, and don't get me wrong, the furniture is really nice. It's all old leather stuff.
Yeah.
But that's how they lure you in. And then you have someone stand at the front door who goes, "Hi guys, welcome to Hollister. Can I help you today?" You're like, "Piss off, please. I just want to shop for some things." But you don't want to shop for anything because everything's terrible.
No, but I do feel like Malcolm Muggeridge whenever I walk into a shop like that. Why on earth am I here? God almighty.
Talking about Malcolms, have you ever watched in the thick of it, I think it's called?
I watched a couple of episodes.
Yeah,
you're only watching it because
I'm not
Doctor
only
Who
watching it
has
because
become
of that. No, it's
Mr.
the
Capaldi.
Doctor is about to regenerate and he's going to become Peter Capaldi.
Ladies and gentlemen, surely you agree with me that this
None
is
of them are going to. You're
complete nonsense.
I'll push this chair No, Peter Capaldi.
I'm back, and Doctor Who is shit.
Peter Capaldi has the best way of swearing in the entire world.
Yes. No.
He doesn't say. He says "fucking."
Yeah.
It's like George Galloway's doing this. "Fucking." It's fantastic.
Yeah. Like you're plucking a turkey.
Yeah. No, you're plucking the turkey.
Yeah. Marvellous stuff.
Do you want me to come down there and you want me to fucking shoot you? It's brilliant. More people should swear like him. More
Yes.
people should be Scottish like
Well,
him.
sadly, he's not going to be able. I would watch Doctor Who if he did that.
That would be good.
If he walked it into the.
No, tell me.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
It has
since
been a
we've
long
on
time
the
because you
internet.
didn't upload the last podcast, which
I'll
happened
do
about
that.
a year ago.
It's more like 2 months ago, but I will do it.
No.
I've been very busy.
Oh,
It's all right for you. You don't
as
have
if.
exams. Tell me about you, Andrew.
Me?
How have you been?
I've been drinking, writing stuff, reading stuff.
Riveting stuff here.
Literally testifying feats that I've. What about yourself, though?
I have been in the library a lot,
Right.
and occasionally I listen to some music.
Oh, I went to W. Smith's once.
Oh,
Yeah.
I go there sometimes. Right, okay. Just while we're on the topic, can we talk about self-service checkouts?
Yes, but oh my god, yes.
They
Oh
are
my.
the worst thing. Because, one, I get angry at people in WH Smith because they can't use them, and
Yes.
it's really not that difficult.
Yes.
But two, I couldn't use the one in Morrison's
Yeah.
the other day, and then I could see people judging me, and it was really
Yeah.
embarrassing.
No, it's the same thing. I mean, you walk up to behind this dithering old bag, and she's
Probably called Doris.
probably called Doris. Yes, fumbling her way through, and she gets stuck 5 times, and the troll from checkout comes and helps her out.
But the girl from the checkout who helped me yesterday was very, very nice, but I could feel her judging me.
Yeah.
And as I left, she looked at me and went, "Well done."
We find ourselves bathed in the pale, haunting light of a Chinese moon. What do you make of that?
I'm assuming that this isn't going somewhere entirely racist.
No, there's a... Well, did you know, by the way, while I'm on the subject of the moon, that the American flag, which was left there billowing in the non-breeze, has been bleached by the sun because, of course, there's very little in the way of protection when you're standing on the moon. That's why...
Always use protection, kids.
Thank you, Eldon. So it's just a white flag now, so it looks like
Really?
the French have been there, and the and also there's a Chinese flag there now, which is interesting. It's a multicultural moon now, so there you are.
Who can lay claim to the moon?
I don't think anybody can.
But they can't, there's not a space law.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a space Native American Indian, but I mean,
The moon is everyone's.
I really don't see the point in. I don't understand the logic behind owning a bit of land at all. I really don't. I mean, I think we've reached the stage now where our species has grown up enough to stop being tribal and accept that it's just land. Because I can't see what would be wrong. If Canada just suddenly said, right, there is no boundary between us and the United States, it's just the one blob, what would go wrong? It would be complicated. It would be complicated, but I think it would result in a far
Well, you'd have
better
to work out
system.
currency and things like that.
Yeah,
And language.
yeah. But the only thing that would really happen is people would be able to traffic drugs more easily because there wouldn't be a border to cross. And I can't see the problem with that.
Turn Europe into one big drug cartel.
Yeah. Well, what was the country, ladies and gentlemen, that recently... I don't know why I'm asking you a non-rhetorical question. What was the country recently that... I think it was Uganda that... It wasn't Uganda. That officially legalised all drugs?
Portugal did that years ago.
No, I mean recently it was Uruguay or... No, it was an African country, I'm sure. Uganda or...
Washington DC. Thanks, Obama.
Thank you, Willem. But they've completely legalised drugs, so we'll see what happens there. And we'll see if everybody suddenly starts taking marijuana and going mad and killing everybody.
Crystal meth for everyone! Crystal meth is horrendous.
Oh, it was a horrible substance.
I realised, by the way, talking of crystal meth, how judgmental a human being I am recently.
Really?
Like,
Recently?
properly, down to the core, a
Right.
bad judgmental person.
Right.
Because do you know, in Glasgow, I have to ask you a question, but also educate the audience.
Right.
At
Well,
the same
whisper
time.
it, whisper
Yeah.
it.
So, Kelvingrove Park.
Right.
Okay, so Kelvingrove Park is a place in Glasgow which has a big fountain in it, which is a very nice park.
It is.
It's cool, and it's on the way between.
Cold these days.
It's on the way between Sauchiehall Street and Glasgow University. So one night it was dark, and I was walking home from university, and I thought I should walk through that park. And then, without ever having heard any evidence or any stories to suggest this to me, without ever having read anything on the internet to make me think this, I went, but I can't walk through Kelvingrove Park because that's where all the meth addicts live.
Mm.
And then I sort of thought, no one's ever told me that before. No one's ever told me a story about that before.
I don't think anything by the name of Kelvingrove would have any kind of addict in it.
No,
really, I mean,
lots of meth addicts in it.
Would they? I mean, it's a very nice park by day. Are there meth addicts that stock the very exclusive and
Glasgow? Whenever the night falls, Glasgow's just filled with them.
Well,
they scour the trees and
bits of Glasgow. I mean, the bit that we went to recently to see the Hunger Games, for instance,
scary.
that was very scary. There are underpasses and there are tramps the biggest, which by the way they never tire of telling you is the biggest screen in Scotland. Why do they do that?
Welcome to IMAX, the biggest screen in Scotland.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Why do they do that? They stop before the production.
Yeah,
a woman walks out and says, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is the biggest screen in Scotland." As if that's an achievement.
You're sitting there and you're waiting to see the Hunger Games. And you're looking at the screen, and the advertisements have just played, and that thing comes up and says, "The Hunger Games is authorised for 12A." And you go, "Good."
Yeah.
And then it stops, and a woman walks out and goes, "Hello there. This is the IMAX. It's the biggest screen in Scotland. So enjoy the movie." And you're like, "Thanks for reminding us yet again." Yeah. And every advert, it's like, "Welcome to IMAX, the biggest screen in Scotland. You should come and see this film on the biggest screen in Scotland."
The only reason that would be necessary is if I was blind, and I'm not, because I'm seeing a film.
This is the Citroen DS3 on the biggest screen in Scotland.
Crikey, I mean, I don't really. I like the idea of a big screen, but it's not the most important thing.
Do you know,
can have.
seeing the Hunger Games in IMAX?
Yeah.
There was no point in seeing it in IMAX.
No,
I'm not sure if it was not filmed for IMAX. But I wanted to see something in IMAX, and it just looked like it had been stretched for a big scene.
Yeah, no, a screen, yes. No, I see your point, and I raise you the slightly more edgy and treacherous point. The Hunger Games was actually not bad.
The Hunger Games was alright.
It was certainly, you said you've seen the first one.
The first
which I haven't.
Terrible.
But I thought the second one was a perfectly laudable motion picture.
The thing that I think we both agreed on is that the first hour and a half is much better than the second hour.
Yeah.
Now, I have looked at Twitter and saw people going, "It's amazing, it is the best film of the year."
Well,
it's not.
No, it isn't. But it's certainly not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No, it's definitely because I thought the first one was absolute shit.
The vision of totalitarianism is flawed, but it's very good. It captures the essence quite well.
The first hour and a half, I think, where they're all, it's like they can't smile when they're delivering the speeches, or they can't cry whenever people are shot in front of them and things. Yeah. It's perfect. It encapsulates what I imagine North Korea would be like. But I'd see what you mean there.
Oh, I tell you what, that was news.
What?
Let's not talk about the Hunger Games anymore.
Hunger Games.
Mr. Kim's uncle has been executed.
That was a thing. Was he executed or was he secretly killed?
Yeah, he was secretly killed.
Is it a sort of thing that everyone knows he did it, but he's not saying he did it?
What are you talking about?
Is it a sort of, all of you know that I killed my uncle, but I'm not going to admit it?
Oh yeah, so no, I think he was dragged away in front of the, I don't know what the committee is, the equivalent of their parliament, on charges of. What was it? Conspiracy to do something. It reminds me very much of Russia and the show trials and so forth. Weird. But no, that was interesting. That was news.
Saw that his wife, the uncle's wife, is still a member of. I'm not sure what to call him. Kim Jong. I was gonna go for Uns, but that was inappropriate. So Kim Jong.
Let's call him Mr. Kim.
Yeah, the wife is still part of Mr. Kim's entourage, as it were, and so is Mr. Kim's wife.
Yeah.
So she appeared in public for like, the first time in 2 weeks the other day, looking very pale and very thin and very scared.
Yeah.
You feel for her.
It's a horrible thing.
She should have killed him by now.
Yeah.
Andrew told me earlier on that the other day he had decided that by the time our Christmas holidays were over, which for him is on the 20th of January, that he would have learned everything. And he thought that the best place to start would be with Granada.
Well, why not?
So he typed Granada into Wikipedia, and now he knows everything about Granada.
Yeah.
So Andrew,
Yeah.
what is the capital of Granada?
Well done. It's St. George's, and it's as in belonging to George.
Okay.
So I've never seen that before in a capital city.
Where is Granada?
Well done. It's one of the smallest Caribbean islands in the Caribbean Sea.
What can be achieved by mixing Granada with rum?
Well, I can tell you the main export of Granada is nutmeg, and followed by things like pepper and spice and
Wasn't exactly what I
other
asked, but
things
we'll go
hot
with
or
it.
nice. You know, I don't want to duck your question, but
Oh, this is from the person studying politics. Look at how expertly he deflected that question.
yeah. No, that really annoys me actually.
What, the fact that you study politics?
Yeah,
Annoys me as well.
Oh, it's just awful. And the fact that when a politician is asked a question, I've seen a debate in Parliament with my own eyes, and I've never seen a question answered ever.
No.
Not even.
When did you see a debate in Parliament?
I
with
went
your own
there
eyes?
in June of this year.
What, and you just sat in and watched the debate?
Yeah.
Were you on BBC Parliament?
What?
BBC Parliament? It's a channel.
No, I was in the viewing gallery.
No, were you on it?
No. Why would I be on BBC Parliament?
Because they show all the
Well, I mean,
angles.
they ought to have me on and hear my angle.
Yeah,
But
so that all the 3 people watching it can...
no,
This
but
House would like to raise the motion that farms are far too progressive. Calm down, calm
shut
down.
up, all of you! I'll keep you late. Oh, God,
Our
it's
Parliament is the
despicable.
worst Parliament in the
Oh,
world.
I mean, there are certain things that are quite good about it, having learned about it, but it's really
Like,
ridiculous.
I think the thing that grates most of all is, you know, when you have a proper serious debate
Yeah.
and it's Ed Miliband standing
Oh,
opposite
God,
David
yeah.
Cameron, is that this Parliament will not acknowledge the fact
I know.
that
The voices are
this is
so
a case.
bad.
This is a case that it's only appropriate for the House of Lords. He goes, well, if it was a case appropriate for the House of Lords,
Yeah. Oh no! Please be quiet and
now
let the
then,
man
now
with
then,
the silly
now
voice
then,
finish his
now
point.
then, now then, now.
I swear to God, I once saw in a debate in Parliament where somebody called somebody else a silly Billy or something. Seriously, it was something
and they got
really,
really angry,
nursery
they-
rhyme stuff, and he was asked to withdraw the comment. That's unparliamentary behaviour. I would ask you to withdraw that.
I think the worst one ever was, and don't get me wrong, I don't like them, man. I think
Yeah.
the Tories, to paraphrase someone else,
Yeah.
are very much the cream of the country. They
I-
are thick and rich.
I think
but-
that Tories can best be summed up, having studied politics. And
Sorry,
What?
that was me.
Oh, right.
People, I'm just too popular. Stop now.
right, someone in the Tory party once said, "It is quite obvious," and I'm paraphrasing, that there is inequality in the world, and there will always be people, as the Bible says, worse off than oneself.
Mm-hmm.
It is the policy of the Tory party to keep that affair in order.
I've never heard that before.
I think that best sums up the ethos.
But I think
Sure.
you get. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Make sure that state of affairs is maintained. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah.
And the
It's like that song from Jesus Christ Superstar.
yeah. No,
Surely
which
you're
one?
not saying we
Oh,
have
that one, yeah.
resources to save the poor from their lot.
I like that song.
There will be poor always, pathetically struggling. Look at the good things you've got. People who are hungry, people who are starving.
That looked like a cock.
Madame!
Oh,
It's gone.
now. Oh dear.
I made a penis for Jesus Christ
did.
Superstar.
The words of Jesus
Then you're...
form a cock when you're on that. That's like when you listen to a Michael Jackson song backwards and it tells you to join the Navy. When you listen to the Bible on
you
a
listen to
on
the
a thing.
podcast backwards. Cocks everywhere.
Well,
Anyway, I think it's probably about time to wrap up, don't
yeah.
you?
Okay.
Thank
Well-
you very much for joining us again.
We've been Sketch Me My Legs.
Have a nice day.
Goodbye.